Hello everybody, welcome back or welcome to another episode of Vibration Translation. This is Mystical Translation Series episode 8. Today, what are we going to talk about? Oh, we're going to talk about balance, all right? Balance. What a concept, right? We're going to be talking about maintaining balance and a sense of deep anchored in peace within your being as you navigate through life and everything that life brings forward for you to experience, including the life of your internal environment, the life of your emotions. How do we maintain balance within this life? It's almost like balance and finding balance within your being may be the thing to focus on, may be the key for you to be able to harmoniously navigate with the life inside you and the life going on inside you and the life wanting to be expressed from inside you and the emotions that you are feeling and all that is that you are processing within this gigantic, magnificent moment of now, within this infinite, truly infinite cosmos. It's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, everything is happening everywhere all at once in this moment called now. Everything is happening right now. And yet you are at this point right here, experiencing what it is that you are experiencing upon the waves and the waters of your personal ocean of experience. And that ocean of experience includes, right, whatever external circumstances become embodied within your projector screen, right? And the experiences that arise from within you, right? Those emotions, the thoughts, the feelings, sensations, comforts and discomforts. So while all of this is happening, it may feel chaotic at times, and that's all right. There's nothing wrong with feeling any and all of the human emotions and the beauty, the awe, and then back to the chaos of existence. But one thing that we can do to help ourselves navigate with much more ease and harmony within our lives, and so that our lives don't feel like a living hell, which you may or may not have experienced your life feeling like a living hell. As many spiritual teachings say, it's not about what is actually happening in the external environment of the circumstances of the images going by your projector screen, or the internal waves of emotion within your body and reactions and triggers and really intense feelings sometimes. It's not about what is happening there that's going to be determining if you're balanced or not. You see, you within this life get to determine how you navigate your life. And as one of my favorite yoga teachers says here on YouTube, her name is Ali Kamenova. She always says, with love, strength, and ease. And I feel like those three, love, strength, and ease, are incredible principles to live by and to use within our navigation of these waves of life that come through us and into us, all around us. I mean, it just permeates our experience, this life. How do we navigate this experience, right? We can do it with love, strength, and ease. From within our balance points. Of awareness. Now, I'm gonna talk about this balance as a way of approaching life, how one can cultivate balance within life, within one's awareness. This is all based off of my personal experiences, as well as I'm going to be pulling from different teachings. Two of them being Bashar and Michael Singer today, as well as quotes by Albert Einstein and another unidentified lady. But everything will be credited that I pull from. Now, at the same time, my integration of these ideas comes from a certain pool of information that I have opened up my channel towards. So other people may be saying similar things, but we're saying it within different metaphors, within different words, within different tools that we communicate, within different ways of being that we communicate, but ultimately that leads to the same key or underlying resonance of information. And yeah, if you don't know me, I'm Maya. I've created Vibration Translation. Basically, after my last ayahuasca experience, I've been deep diving into anything spirituality and personal development for the last decade. And I love this. So I like sharing it. And what more does there need to be, really? So, balance. What I define balance as is a peaceful interacting with the waves of experiences and emotions life or the day brings in. It's a peaceful interacting with. Like Ali Kaminova saying, with love, strength, and ease, with balance. You get to put in the width of how you want to interact with life, with aggression, with love, with anxiousness, with doubt, with, you put your own width with how you want to interact with life, because life is going to be here and life is always happening, and it's the infinite flow of life happening, but you get to decide with what kind of energy, right? The energy of Tao, the energy of love, the energy of strength, ease, balance, with what kind of intention, with what kind of embodiment, ultimately, right? From intention comes embodiment. If you stay devoted to it, do you want to be interacting with life? In what way? What is your width? And today we're talking about the width of balance, with balance. And cultivating balance, right? So balance, it's much like when walking a tightrope or riding a unicycle. I ride a unicycle. I used to. I know how to, so I'm using this example. So it's much like when walking a tightrope or riding a unicycle. It can involve attention. And I think it's funny that I said the word tension, but when I said attention, it also sounds like attention. Like attention, pay attention. Attention. A pulling of the rubber band in this direction. It involves a bit of a tension because it wasn't used to going within this direction yet. It involves a bit of your strength and a bit of building and cultivating strength and building up muscle to be able to be pulled within this direction with much more ease. All right, so when you're trying to rock that tightrope or ride that unicycle, there can involve this tension, especially when in training. Right? Your muscles on your body, especially your core muscles, are deeply involved in maintaining balance in the situations of the tightrope or the unicycle specifically. Right? They may rip and tear in order to maintain that balance, right? Your muscles are training, ripping and tearing, having tension, having bits and pieces of discomfort, right? To be able to maintain that balance with more ease and grace over time, right? And even when you've already learned how to ride the unicycle, for example, or you've already practiced, you're already super practiced in walking the tightrope, you're still engaging those muscles, but the pathways built towards engaging those muscles are speedier, as well as more developed in strength, because those muscles have been utilized. But, especially your core muscles are gonna, all those muscles are going to be working regardless if you just began or this is like your 1 millionth time of doing the thing. Your core muscles are going to be deeply engaged. And I'm using this metaphor because balance in the same way is like a muscle. It's like your core muscle, your core of your being muscle. How much is the core of your being, is your consciousness, is the seat of your soul, is the seat of awareness. I'm just using different words here for the same thing. May click with you some words, and some words may not click with you. That's why I'm using a bunch. How deeply involved is your consciousness within the present moment? The power of your consciousness to remain steady and within harmony. Now, this isn't some just simply mental exercise, because when it comes to the mind, we can get very lost in the mind and trying to focus it till death do us part. Like you're trying to focus your mind so heavily that when you get tired, lose grip, bored, the mind is, of course, the mind needs to be trained as well, but the mind is is a lot more fallible than your centered awareness. What does that mean, and why am I differentiating the mind from awareness? Because there is a difference. The mind is a tool that works within your human body. Awareness and consciousness is the life that really operates these tools. And so we are not just our minds. We are not merely within our minds. We are the awareness that can literally traverse dimensions. Astral projection, remote viewing, lucid dreaming. We are the operating force behind this awareness that can literally traverse dimensions where we're not just stuck in our minds, going on a loop. Now, sometimes we have this feeling of being in a rut or being on this hell on earth and inside this like crazy existential chaotic experience viscerally within our bodies, within our minds. What I found is that with the right training and techniques, we're able to shorten the length of time of us experiencing this despair and hell that is really built upon the stories of our mind that can entrap us within the box of living within this hell because we're trapped within the story and the beliefs of our mind. And then this feeling of hell and despair builds this momentum, but the effects of that can be shortened, right? By training that muscle and also by recognizing the story, right? So I've experienced states of this despair and hell and just chaos on earth within my own being and within my own personal experience many a times. And you go through this enough times and you realize that it passes. It literally always passes, no matter how crazy, intense, and eternal the experience can feel. It always passes. So some things that help here is, number one, recognize the story you're keeping yourself in, but also get out of your mind. Get out of your mind. Bring in awareness, shift your focus. But the thing is, the length of time at which we can stay within these hellish mental states, in my experience, is congruent to what I would call dips in awareness, where I get sucked back in the story. I'm not really aware and observant of what is going on within the environment of my mind, the environment of my body, but I'm really deeply sucked into it. And this idea of shortening the amount of time that you're within this story, mental story, or this hell or this despair, or like however much the momentum has built, to then your life be feeling just completely and utterly hellish or somewhere on the spectrum there, is I have this quote from Michael Singer, his book Untethered Soul. It's on page 202, and I'm just going to read that full page. It's about half a page here. Now, Michael Singer came back into my mind because of Richard from Luminal Mind. We just finished making a podcast episode over on his channel, so I'll be linking that down below. We have entered the flow, followed our curiosity, and produced a really cool episode. So I'll link that down below for y'all. Now, to read Michael Singer, Untethered Soul, page 202. Would you like to go beyond? Would you like to feel no edges? Imagine a comfort zone that is so expanded that it can easily fit the entire day, no matter what happens. The day unfolds and the mind doesn't say anything. You simply interact with the day with a peaceful, fully inspired heart. If your edges happen to get hit, the mind doesn't complain. It all just passes through. This is how great beings live. When you are trained like a great athlete to immediately relax through your edges when they get hit, then it's all over. You realize that you will always be fine. Nothing can ever bother you except your edges. And now you know what to do with them. You end up loving your edges because they point your way to freedom. All you have to do is constantly relax and lean into them. Then one day, when you least expect it, you fall through into the infinite. This is what it means to go beyond. And so, end quote. And when Michael Singer talks about the beyond, it's the state of transcendence. It's a state of accessing that wellspring of peace within you, consciousness and awareness, allowing for that to expand. All you have to do is constantly relax and lean into, your edges, your discomforts. And this is congruent with what I've been writing down for myself in my notes over the course of a few days as I got this informational downloads. Is that, yes, there's many steps on the journey of our life, of our soul, and the journey is winding, but ultimately it comes down to opening and allowing the process of the journey of life to happen and allowing you to feel you. I've gotten unstuck from these moments of stuckness and being in the misery of not crossing your edge, and in the story of and the fear of what would happen if I cross my edge, if I do that thing. I found my peace oftentimes, first of all, getting out of the mind and into the body, into the heart, which at the end of this video I'll do a bit of a short heart meditation, just so you can just viscerally feel this for yourself and directly experience within the moment a shift. It comes down to the fact that I allowed this process to happen, this process of life to happen, and I allowed me to feel me. I allowed me to feel me. I allowed me to feel life. And by virtue of the word, the word highlighted here is allowing, by virtue of the allowing. And a prerequisite to allowing is just acceptance. Like, here it is. Okay, I accept it. And okay, I allow it. Allowing it to move through you. There's no shame in feeling anything that's human. There's no shame in feeling anything that is human. There's no shame in feeling triggered and reactive, because that's not what an enlightened person does. No. It is to be one with life, is to deeply feel life and allow life, isn't it so? It's not that, I was reactive and triggered here, therefore I'm wrong and I'm not balanced and I'm not centered and I'm not this and that, and I know nothing, and literally I've gotten nowhere on this journey. It's not to self-deprecate yourself in this way. It's to embrace the ever-expansion of the universe, which includes the ever-expansion of yourself. And to also practice the muscle of reflection upon yourself with a loving and compassionate heart. All right, the heart is going to be another key. Because if we give up everything, the intelligence of our body, the intelligence of our heart, and only focus on the mind, which our society is moving out of that currently, but it's very deeply ingrained within us to just merely, right? Now this term has become popular, to be mindful. Mindfulness. Mind, How about being lifefulness? And I say this because the mind can enter its mind circus through very many back doors. There's many, many back doors and trap doors and here's and that for inside the mind and the construct of the ego and the identity. especially the identity that is rooted in insecurity and needing to protect oneself because of its deep wound of separation from itself in one way or another. The mind circus and the stories, I mean, there's so many that could happen. That's why the body holds so much wisdom for us, especially at these times. Once our stories around what we're allowed to feel and what we're allowed to express is removed, that's where we are free. That's when we are free to be and express as we are, ever changing in the eternal now. Express, mess up, be free. Because, as long as you're grounded within your heart, or literally have some type of connection to your heart, you're not going to fall so out of your integrity that you become a quote-unquote bad person, or you start hurting other people in a malicious manner. As long as you have that integrity of your own heart, you maintain the feeling of connectedness, that we are one. So then it becomes more apparent to you that if you intentionally hurt another person from a place that you know with yourself is out of integrity with your values and basic morals, then you won't go there, because you maintain your feeling to connection to the organism of your one through the connection to your own organism, which is ultimately connected to the one. I'm going to read out something I ended up writing to somebody that messaged me about this similar topic. What I understand is that to be at peace is to be deeply involved by embracing life and the life inside you. Example, your excitement, not blocking it, but going towards it, and allowing yourself to experience all the human emotion while also being grounded in the knowing, your center, your soul, and that you are not your thoughts or emotions, and that they are passing through you. And side note here is that in the knowing your center, which goes back to the metaphor of the unicycle, the tightrope, where you're connected to your core so that you're able to balance. And through the allowing of them to pass through, the thoughts, emotions, feelings, you are embracing life, therefore not resisting, therefore allowing to transmute all that is holding you back, therefore freeing yourself from suffering, because suffering equals pain times resistance. As I gathered from Self-Compassion by Christina Neff. Suffering equals pain times resistance. The only thing we can ever be running from is ourselves. It's always important to feel shit, It's so important to feel shit because there are always new things being shown to you about you from the reflection of this mirror you're looking at right now. So my intention for you is to seek balance amid the chaos and find the harmony within yourself. And the same intention for myself. To seek balance amid the chaos and find the harmony within yourself. And the key word is, also amid the chaos, because chaos, change, transformation, destruction, creation, becoming a new life, and all this, it's always happening. Changing, shifting, reworking itself into the new. Be present with it, be engaged with. That's what life wants of you. Another fun metaphor is like life. Imagine if you have a baby and the baby is your life, is your entire life and everything that happens in your life. And the baby wants your engagement, wants your involvement with it. Just like the artwork, the idea that you have. The idea that is given to you and that is inspired, that inspires you. It wants your engagement and wants your involvement with it. Life wants your engagement and wants your involvement with it. It wants your acceptance of it. And it wants your acceptance of where you are right now. It wants you to accept that you don't have to change yourself. I want you to accept that you already are so perfect. Because you already are, because you're existing within this creation in the way that you are right now. And also life wants you to accept that change is always happening, because in this way it wants you to be involved with it. And life wants you to know that you're so beautiful. And I want to share some aspects of my experience here. Is that I've had many times existential crises on and off of psychedelics. And the ones off of psychedelics, I remember one particular one, I mean, it just felt as intense as if I was on psychedelics having an existential crisis. You know, this stuff can be very visceral. And I was having these deep existential, like, dread experiences because I was trying to protect my identity as separate, and I was trying to protect my story of who I am. And, you know, there's so much power in recognizing the story and seeing it as a story, as a narrative. And then it no longer has a hold on you because it is in the light of your consciousness now. And now you decide, now you decide the story. Just another quote by Bashar is he often says about habits is that a habit is no longer a habit if you are aware of it. And if you're aware that you have a habit of drinking, for example, it's not a habit anymore. You just keep choosing it because it's serving you in some kind of way. And you feel like it's beneficial for you in some type of way because you're doing it, right? And another thing Michael Singer says is that if you don't know why you're doing something, don't do it and find out. Just don't do it and see what's that urge that wanted you to keep doing it. And in terms of existential dread, when I solidified that, okay, the understanding that this keeps going, like I don't disappear when I die. Like I can't escape existence. I can't escape existence. I solidified for myself the understanding that I could only keep going forward, and that was and always will be in truth the only option. I mean, I'm always going to be within an experience. We always keep moving, sure, we can choose a direction, but ultimately we are always gaining some experience. And I want to say that being able to tap into this feeling of gratitude, joy, curiosity, anything on that frequency, right? Ease, strength, harmony, balance, all of it is kind of like on the same frequency for me and how I view it. Honestly, I feel like I have to stop saying how I view it, what I see, my perspective. I mean, like, come on. I feel like I'm going to stop doing that very soon. I just feel like personally I use it too much. It's this frequency, and being able to access it and maintain it for longer periods of time and invite it more into my experience is really special to me because I was in so much pain for so long and so out of balance for like so much of my life. And in no way am I in perfect balance right now, but I'm choosing it. I'm choosing it. And these are the pathways I have found to it. The experience of not being in balance, all those experiences of not being in balance have taught me about balance. The state of consciousness and operating from, the operation from the state of consciousness, the operation which is this peaceful and loving interaction more embodied within life itself and the life within me is so special to me because I wasn't able to access this for such a long time. Everything is so beautiful and everything is working out because I choose this beauty, and the beauty may also be like disturbance and chaos and any other experience that comes in. And when I say beauty, I mean like finding the seeds of love within every experience. I say beauty because there's a gift to every experience. And some gifts may be harder. Some wisdom gifts, wisdom presence may be harder or more challenging just to see. but they're there. Like, for example, right now, again, my neighbor is using a leaf blower or some kind of machine right outside my window, basically, or very close to my window. It's quite loud, and you can probably hear a bit of it. This started happening like every time I'm making a video, and this experience allows me to relax deeper into just what's happening right now, deeper into the edge of OCD about things having to be perfect for a video and the perfect environment and quietness. And I'm okay with that sound outside. It's a part of my environment. I accept it. I allow it. It doesn't disturb me anymore as it used to before. And even having it now, a small disturbance of me can come up towards it, but I'm practicing relaxing into it, like that quote from Michael Singer. And so this is the gift and the beauty of this sound outside. My last ayahuasca experience, during a moment of just bawling my eyes out and just feeling a lot of suffering, this awe came into me because I realized was quite literally experiencing being on the edge of this great fear. This great fear of life, of how people perceive me, of being seen as crazy, of self-doubt, and just the fear of all that. And the weight of all the doubt that's been holding me back, and the weight of how much I haven't been expressing myself, and the fear of expressing myself truly and authentically. I came into this moment of awe and like tears, because I said in that moment, like, to this lady that came sit next to me, I was like, there's so much beauty to step into. I just saw it so clearly, and I saw so clearly all the things that were holding me back. And these past 8 or 9 months now, I had the experience last February, right? Almost 9 months. It's just for all these 9 months, I've been integrating all that I saw, all the blocks and all of everything that was just keeping me back from really stepping into the beauty. And I know this video kind of took a turn from balance, but I mean, this is all about balance. I know a lot of times in my videos I have very many concepts, but these all converge for me, and these all are spoken about in this particular video because they converge for me at the topic of balance. And I'm learning to trust the flow of what comes through, but I really just want to talk about this point of there's so much beauty to step into within life, within seeing life as beautiful, but also within seeing yourself as beautiful, and all that you are, and all those things and expressions that you want to say, all of that, all those things you want to create, understanding that all of that is the beauty for you to step into, and to embody, and to embrace, and to bring into your experience, all of that within you. There's this quote from the Gospel of Thomas, and it says, "If you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you." And I mean, that's exactly it. I really don't think it's about floating through life and being so non-reactive and just not really feeling anything. I mean, that's disassociation, and that's escaping from what is, and from what is wanting to come forth from within you. Balance is finding that center point within yourself, so that you are clearly able to bring forth what is within you. So that you're able to bring more of what is within you by exercising your core, But finding your center throughout all the muck that can be present, through all the story, through all the cobwebs of the mind. Because at that core, at that center point, where balance is found with the universe, right? That the ecosystem around you and within you is a beautiful reciprocity, and it's a beautiful giving forth of what is within you. But I just see how much we're so scared, and how much I was so scared of bringing anything forth from within me, because I was really so afraid that I was going to be seen as crazy. And I allowed that to hold me back for like my life until, now. And so now, like, I'm beginning to experience all of this beauty that I decided to choose to step into, because it really felt, in the moment when I was taking ayahuasca, like, it felt like life or death for me. Like, it felt like life or death to actually step into the beauty in both ways. From the perspective of being inside the story and the fear, like, I'm gonna die if I step into that beauty. I'm gonna die because that part of me is gonna die that is so afraid. And also life or death, like, if I do not bring forth within me that which is within me, it's gonna destroy me. And so there's these beautiful double meanings and paradoxes that can be found all around. I've experienced these many times. And step by step, I'm working to submerge the fabric, every fabric of my experience within this beauty, within this grace, within this balance, within this harmony, within all that I choose. I invite you to do the same, or a variation, what is authentic to you. And before we get into the heart opening meditation, I want to touch again on the mind and this built up energy that can cause one to feel very unbalanced mentally and then energetically in all sorts of ways. There is this quote from a Bashar video. It's a Q&A session with this woman that is asking Bashar a question, and she's reflecting on a realization she had. And I will link that video down below. It's called Bashar's Secret to Living with Joy and Ease. I don't know the name of this lady. If anybody does, then please let me know. But it's right at the beginning of the video. I rewatched that part at least 5-6 times, because the way she was talking of her realization was just so inspiring. And so I will quote her here. And if you want to watch the full video or watch how she says it, it's down below. She says, "Many, many times when I would be in frames that I did not like, I would wrestle with the issue. I would try to find the conviction behind it. And many, many times I thought that would help me, because I would come to a realization and change it. And today I realize that you can't wrestle the problem. You need to raise your vibration. You need to focus on things you like. And then you get the download. And then you change it." And then Bashar responded with the Einstein quote, "You can't solve a problem from the same level of consciousness that it was created." And so to transmute, a tool for transmuting that level of consciousness, that built up a momentum of energy within you, is to channel the energy into a form of creation. So you allow the energy to move through you and to actually transmute. A tool for doing that is art, any art, music, painting. Even if you're not an artist of any kind, just write poetry, speak, get the energy moving. And by painting about it, writing about it, singing about it, feeling into the emotion on an instrument, you're in a sense inviting that energy. You're accepting it, and you're inviting it, allowing it to move through you. And you're allowing that momentum to find its end within a creation. So that's a way you can transmute that already built up momentum that can be quite unsettling and visceral for you emotionally. And also in a sense of, by engaging in peace, in a peaceful approach to life, and peacefully interacting with life, you then invite that feeling of peace back into yourself. Right, as the lady was saying within her realization, you need to raise your vibration, you need to focus on the things you like, take a more peaceful approach towards yourself and towards life by focusing on these things you like, rather than focusing on the problem and the issue and the wrestling with what you don't like. Because as you wrestle, you then engage in an energy of battle, struggle, fighting, rather than peace. So you can choose what kind of energy you also invite into your life by means of what do you interact with, in which way do you operate and interact with life with. So I want to invite you for this short and sweet meditation. If you are able to close your eyes, then do so if you like to. So I invite you, just focus internally. Bring your awareness back inside your body, into your internal experience, however it is right now. Feeling deeply inside your body. Being present with any sensations. Your awareness fully resting inside your being. You're present with yourself, with the present of yourself. And now I like to bring your awareness to your heart center. I'm focusing internally on your heart center. If it helps to put a hand over your heart, you may do so. Concentrating your awareness on your heart center, fully sipping up your awareness inside your heart, sipping it in your heart, breathing it in to your heart. Or simply letting go of the mind circus, which is something we can often get stuck in if doing affirmations or gratitudes from the mental plane. But here, as we are seated at the heart, we find a new connection with ourselves. Being present with the sensation of the heart. And gently opening up your eyes once you're ready. Allow yourself to almost see life through the eyes of your heart. Your heart also has many neuronal connections. Though it doesn't have physical eyes, you give it eyes by the seat of your awareness. And because the heart has this its own nervous system. It has its own storage of memory, sense-felt memory. And so by tapping into the heart, you're able to then feel the world. Through it. All right, I'll leave you off there. One love.